Okay, awesome. Hi, everyone. It's been great presentations so far. So yeah, fair play to everyone. Some really interesting things to think about. So I'm going to be talking about building a front-end YouTube service using Next.js. So let me just jump into it now. So just a quick bit about who am I. So my name's Jason Stewart, otherwise known as Jay. I'm a front-end developer in Dublin, Ireland. Working for Distilled, working on the new DoneDeal front-end rewrite using Next.js and React. So what is this talk about? So you may have already guessed from the name of the talk, but I'll go into more detail. So we'll be talking about backend and front-end interactions via Next.js using root APIs, viewing YouTube car reviews on DoneDeal ads, and caching with Redis. So why did we do this? So this started off as a hackathon project. So every year in Distilled, there is a hackathon that takes 2 days where members of the company can join forces or work alone to create wonderful and wacky ideas. Some of them will be turned to features down the line. Some of them are just for fun. Second of all was for brand awareness. So DoneDeal are doing a fantastic job and they're continuing to drive forward to be known as the #1 spot for new and old cars in Ireland. And then lastly, then we have high quality reviews. So a lot of effort has been made into doing kind of reviews of cars as they come out. We've a guy that does these for us and he's doing a fantastic job. So we just want to get these out there for everyone to see and again, building that brand awareness. So how did we do it? The fun part then. So initially the thought was to use a CMS. It seemed like the most straightforward way to go. So the pros of this were simple to develop. Just have a CMS. We already use some out there in our marketing teams. Just build a new document. Have you know what the car is, you know what the video is, just link them that way, simple enough and easy to manage. So again, our marketing team is already using some CMSs, so it wouldn't be a big deal for them to have to manage it on there. So some cons of that: too simple to develop. So after all, it was a hackathon, so you want to do something a bit more interesting than just hooking up to a CMS. And then lastly, then it needs to be managed. So although it is not a big deal for the marketing team to manage, we want to remove any extra steps that need to take place. So this is where we came to using the YouTube API. So the positives of this were it's a bit more interesting to develop. They have great documentation. It's a little bit more hacky, again, the nature of the hackathon. And then no extra management required. So all you have to do is upload a video as normal, and the rest will be looked after in the background. So although this was more interesting to develop, that also comes with more concerns and problems, one of which was how do we actually link a YouTube video to a DoneDeal ad? And secondly then, so with much of Google's APIs, if you do too many calls to it, it'll start costing money. So how can we stop that from happening then? So let's address those concerns. So the first one then, so how are we going to link a YouTube video to a DoneDeal ad? So through some research, we found that YouTube has a feature called tags. So it's mostly used for SEO purposes for finding videos on YouTube. So the user never actually sees these. So we figured we could use this then to make the link. So you can see on the left-hand side there, we have a YouTube video from our DoneDeal channel. And I've just illustrated the different tags that we could put on here. So the first one is for gallery, which just means that you can actually see this on the DoneDeal site. Just distinguish it from the rest of the videos on there. And then next are the important parts. So we have some colon separated tags. So make, forward, model, focus, and then 3 different years. So this review could cover 3 different years of the same model. So we want to be able to show it as many ads as possible. And then on the right-hand side, you can see the actual ad on DoneDeal, which you can see down the bottom. It might be a bit small, but we have the details like make, model, year. And then down the line, we could even use more of these features, such as electric, to differentiate as well. So the next problem then, so we've addressed the linking of videos, so now it's just a cost. So here, caching is your friend. So rather than making thousands upon thousands of calls to YouTube, which will slow things down every time someone views an ad, but it will also get expensive very quick. So in our case, we use Redis. You could use whatever you want. If you're doing something similar, we just have this set up, so it made sense for us to use this. So how do we do this then? So we have key values and time to lives in Redis. And you can see here, so for that video that had the tags, we've basically created a key for them, that information then. So you can see here, we have Skoda Octavia 2019. The value is the YouTube video ID and then a time to live. So you can see the top three there are all for Skoda Octavia over different ranges of years, but they all have the same video ID. And you can see then one then for Ford Focus 2016 with a different one. One of the important keys we have is last YouTube lookup success. So this just lets us know that, yeah, we've successfully hit YouTube, we've gotten back videos, you're good to go. If that key is not there, well, then that means we need to do a fresh sync with YouTube. So that's why we have time to lives there. And we also have 2 extra hours on each of the videos, just in case we do fail to get to sync with YouTube for some reason. So actually using the YouTube API. So for us, we had to make 2 different API calls, which again, you can see why it would get expensive very quick. So the first one gets us a list of the video IDs on our channel. So you can see that's the endpoint that we're hitting. And the important part there is the channel ID. So it's only getting back videos for DoneDeal. The second one then is to get the video tags. So the tags don't come back in the initial request. So in the second one, then we have to request the part, which in this case is a snippet. And then it also takes a string of comma-separated IDs, which we got from the previous request. So now we've hit these two endpoints. We can now filter out any videos without the gallery tag that we mentioned previously, and then store them results in Redis so that it can be cached and we don't have to hit this API again until the following day. So utilizing the power of Next.js. So we've solved all of our problems. We can link a video. We can now cache and avoid costs. So where do we actually put all this then? So Next.js allows you to use API routes. So it's kind of, you can have inside your pages, you can have an API folder, and inside there you can have different files which will become API endpoints. So we just create a simple one for video reviews. And you can see here, this is a document that the user will actually visit, where we capture the ad ID for an ad. So for example, someone visits DoneDeal at this particular ad, which is a car. We will then hit our own endpoint that's on Next.js rather than a more formal backend, where we pass in the make, model, and year. So bringing it all together then. So user visits Skoda Octavia 2020 on DoneDeal. We hit our own API built on Next.js. Check if the Redis key exists for last lookup. If it's true, return the video ID, or null if there is no video for that particular car. Or false, we'll make the call to YouTube, cache the results, and then return the video. So again, this is all going to continue to be fresh every day. You could lessen that to be half a day, but this means if someone uploads a new video, within whatever your time to live is, it will start showing on the site then. So I'll do a quick demo now. Hopefully it's all good and you can still see my screen. So if I open up my terminal right now, and let me just clear out any keys that are in here now. So this is inside the Redis CLI. So if I now go and check for all the keys, you'll see it's completely empty. For this side, so on the left-hand side is where Next.js is running. So now if I come over to my local dev and if I hit refresh, the page should load. I can see watch the review. I can go in and now I can watch the review associated with that ad. So if I come back to my terminal, so on the left-hand side, you can see I'm just logging here. So the cache is empty. So it's hitting the YouTube API to resync all the videos. And if I check the keys now, you can see all of our keys for all of the videos that are applicable to different different cars on DoneDeal. So now if I was to refresh the page again, you'll see on the left-hand side. So this time it's reading from the cache, and here's the video ID. So again, you're not hitting the YouTube API, you're not incurring any costs. It's much quicker as well than hitting an endpoint. So if I come back here again, so problems that we faced. So one of the key things that we wanted to get from this kind of feature of DoneDeal was to be able to increase the view count on our YouTube channel, which again would get us in front of more people when they're searching on YouTube. Unfortunately, we couldn't find a way around embeds and actually affecting the total count on a video. So if anyone has ever faced that issue and figured it out, please get in touch. because that would be great. Future changes or challenges. So we also have Android and iOS apps as part of the DoneDeal ecosystem. So if we want to have video reviews on there as well, should they hit our Next.js endpoint, or should we move that logic onto our Java backend where all of our apps can use that then? So that's something we can do down the line, but it was much quicker to be able to do it on Next.js for now. And yeah, that's it. I've probably absolutely flown through that, but yeah, if there's any questions at all, please feel free to ask.
Okay, thanks so much. Oh, I'm super echoey, sorry. Let's see if we have any questions. Feel free to add them in the chat. I don't see any right now, but I know that we have plenty of time also. So anybody wants to add anything in the next couple of minutes, and we're good. If not, we'll wait a few seconds and move on to the next one. Here's some nice feedback for you in the audience. All right, well, let's go ahead and move on to our next one. Thank you so much. Some more nice positive messages coming in for you. Oh, here's one actual question really fast before I let you go. Could you share an example link of ad?
Yep. So I have a local one here. I'd have to get a live one, but I can send it on anyway after.
All right, perfect. All right, let's move on to our last presentation then. Thanks so much, Jay.